Hey guys, we have a big project today. So as you saw in the last, video, in Clinton's video, we pulled this in. This is the Lincoln Mark 8. I was gifted this by a friend because all I need is the rear independent, the independent rear suspension. What I figured out is I'm not really going to use much from under here. So what's going to happen is my dad and I are taking out the rear, we're taking out the diff because I did plan to use the spindles and everything, but I'm going to buy the spindles off of a Cobra just because they're set up better for what I want to use. So basically today's video is getting the rear pumpkin out of that. What we have done so far is we have the exhaust cut off, removed, got the wheels taken off, the shocks are disconnected up above, brake lines are off, because we were going to drop this whole thing, but we're just dropping the diff now, so none of this even matters, but I did it before. We're going to get back to work, and I'll update you guys as we go. We've run into a bit of a problem. Well, everything's rusty under here, so we've had to cut, well, my dad's had to cut everything. We've cut, let's see, had to cut those off, and then these right here, he just spun, so those are bolts, not studs. So he's cutting those off right now, and then it should just drop out, theoretically, right?
Yeah, push the drive shaft up.
Yeah, and then pop that out. So thanks to Big Daddy-O. Okay, so my dad just got back from a little bathroom break, but right now he's got one more thing to grind. Then we should have the rear end out. So basically he's got one of the bolts that are holding it on. It's just, we've tried, there's no use in taking them off with a wrench just because they're too tight and they're rusted on. So we're just cutting them all, and the diff should be out in a few minutes. So I'm excited. This will be any of the build's first aluminum diff.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. The only thing that sucks about it is you can't jack them up from the diff.
Yeah.
Because it'll crack it.
Right.
So what I'm gonna do is build like a little jack point behind it,
Near it.
and just like a little pad with, you know, two things going from it. It'll be perfect. Probably 2 hours of work for that.
Yep.
But good thing with aluminum, it's nice and clean. Bye, Bod. Okay, so my dad's leaving, which means we got the diff out. So I've never really taken a IRS diff out. I've only really had full, well, that's a lot. Corvette has an IRS diff, sort of. It's like the first one, the first IRS like ever made, sort of. So it's like, it's got CV axles and stuff, but this is like the first real diff I've ever taken out. But this is the new diff for the Mustang. This is the second diff, second rear, well, first was a rear end, a live axle rear end, solid rear end. So I guess that sort of counts, but this is the second diff I have, second 8.8. So all the stuff that I took out of the 8.8 from the Ford Explorer is going in this. Right now this has 307 gears in it with an open diff, and the one I'm putting in it will be a 373 closed diff, so it'll have posi traction and everything. And then the plan is to put a bung up here, put a bung down here, and then have a remote mounted transmission cooler somewhere. That'll need a pump as well. But that's all the plans for this. I'm going to get Cobra spindles, so I decided not to use the spindles from the Mark 8 just because they were kind of big and bulky. So I'm going to get 2 Cobra spindles, and then everything else is going to be built from scratch. Wasn't planning on it, but I guess that's how it's going to go. But this will be perfect because it has speed sensors. So then as long as I have speed sensors in the front, I can do full traction control. So that will be great. I'll have a staged traction control. It can go anywhere from 1 to 10. And yeah, so I think it'll probably be in this video. It'll be tomorrow for me and a little bit for you guys, but I'm going to take the rear housing off and see what it looks like inside.